Welcome to this lovely Sunday morning. A very special topic because a lot of us are going through things which are, like wherever we feel caught, whenever we feel as if we don't know which path to take. What are the two directions that we are being pointed to? One direction is where you are being asked to move or listen to your heart. And the other direction is that you're asked, your mind is telling you something, isn't it? That is the kind of conflict that we get caught in. So how do we kind of understand? Because a lot of times we say, listen to your gut feeling, and the gut feeling is usually not a feeling of the mind. It's more a feeling of the heart. And a lot of times we understand or we think that, what we are looking at or wanting to do from the mind is very probably intellectual or kind of logical, but may not be very may not be very loving, may not be very heart-centered. So from that aspect, there are there's always this kind of a conflict between the heart and the mind. Don't many of us face it at various times in our lives? And that's where we kind of come to a crossroad where we really don't know how to move ahead, where to move ahead, and we are unable to make that decision. So what do we listen to? What is it that we should listen to at that time? Usually, I also like to emphasize that, when we are caught between taking a decision or taking a path between the heart and the mind, it's also because you already have a kind of, a background as to what it is, what would make you feel more comfortable. But you're not trusting that part of you, you're not trusting that part of you. And hence the kind of dichotomy or the confusion that I don't know which path to take. So today we're going to talk a little bit about this. And some of you who've done my 7-week, 6-week program, there's a beautiful meditation that we do in that where we actually bring the heart and the mind together. So I'm going to be doing that. And that's why I messaged a few students who I know are very fond of that meditation so that we're able to do that. So yeah, that's what we are going to talk about. But first, I would like to maybe hear from some of you. Does this resonate? Do you feel that? Are you caught in that? Pramila auntie.
Sometimes you feel that you don't want to do something, but you have no reason. You can't explain to yourself or to the people around why you want to do it. What is that confusion?
Yeah. So when you speak, it's not clear to others, but is it clear to you?
Even to yourself, why you want to do it.
But you have to understand that there is a higher power which is kind of pushing you there. And that's why you are feeling drawn into doing something like that. Otherwise, there would be totally a kind of a retaliation from your mind or, from the situation around. But there's a bigger calling or a kind of an energetic push that go towards this direction or do this, isn't it? But you don't have a valid reason or a justification to that, isn't it? So the reasoning and the justification is the mind's work. The mind wants a reasoning. The mind wants a justification. But even, I would say, even if you don't have a justification, but feel okay with it, but feel okay with doing this or following this particular thing. And again, telling yourself, I don't know why I'm doing this, but this is what feels right, if I may just say, by all means, go ahead. By all means, go ahead, But two things. Firstly, when you are at that crossroad and there's kind of clutter or chatter in your mind, bring yourself into a neutral space. It's not about going into the mind or the heart. It's just coming into a neutral space, and then from there, trusting your decision of going into it. And the second thing that comes up is that once you have taken that decision, just trust. Just fully trust that. You know what I mean? Because it's not something that you can sort of later on say, oh, I made a mistake. You never make a mistake. In my dictionary, there are no mistakes. There are absolutely no mistakes because you are not taking the decision. The guidance is coming from a higher source, even if it is to murder somebody. It's like a part of you is being pushed into doing something which another part of you is telling you not to do, but you're so caught in the dark and the dense that you tend to take that leap. Isn't it? So forget about justifying what you're doing. If we always sit down to justify what we are doing, we'll never find the solution.
Thank
Does
you.
it? Yeah, yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
What are the conflicts that you go through? Like, one is, of course, the mind needs a justification. The mind wants you to give a kind of an answer to justify every action of yours. But tell me, is it really necessary? Sometimes you will not find the justification. And whatever you're doing, it is totally in your mind. If you want to do that, all the justifications will tell you yes, and you will see all the positives of the yes. If you don't want to do that, or you don't resonate, the greater proportion of what you're seeing or receiving will be in the no. Isn't it? It's like what you'll type into Google, the results will be that. If you type benefits of meditation, you'll get the benefits. If you find, if you type what would be the kind of negative aspects of meditation, that's what the Google will tell you. So what is it that you're searching for? Type in those words. Look for that. Isn't it? And the heart doesn't have a reasoning. We say, no, all is fair in love and war. It's not a reasoning. There's no reasoning that the heart can give. Sometimes it could, but majorly no. But your resonance, if you are in connection with that energy that you feel so connected to in your heart, by all means, go ahead. Don't doubt yourself. Don't put yourself down. Because actually, we feel that the mind is stronger, the brain is stronger. Firstly, there's no organ called the mind. Have you ever studied about an organ called the mind? What is the mind? Let me ask you, what do you think is the mind? Let's hear from some of you. Pragati, Arjun, Vani, Snigdha, Bambi. Anybody can answer. What is the mind? Mess. That's a nice thing to say. Snigdha says mind is equal to mess, which is agreeable. So we say what we understand. Yeah. Go ahead, Arjun.
I don't know what the mind is, but I think it produces thoughts. Like you said, and the thoughts come from sort of memory and thinking about the future, which isn't very often have nothing to do with the present.
Yeah, it's cellular memory. It's actually cellular memory. Pragati writes our intellect. Yeah. So basically, what I know about what I have read about, or what is my thought is, when you're sleeping, there is no mind, isn't it? When you're fainted, when you're under an anesthesia, there is no mind. The doctors are never saying that we have to operate your mind. We just have to heal the mind. So it's definitely nothing physical, isn't it? So when we talk about the mind is something which is conceived the moment you open your eyes or you connect to your consciousness. Till you're sleeping, maybe there's an unconscious mind or something. But the moment you connect to the conscious mind, the moment you connect to your consciousness or awareness, that's the time the mind and the thoughts come in, and that's what conceives the mind. As Arjun said, the thoughts are what conceive the mind. Before that, there is no mind. Right? So the moment the one first thought arises, the mind comes in. So it's definitely a platform for all the thoughts to come in, and that's the space from where they are dispelled. And all the time we say that, oh, my mind is driving me crazy, my mind is driving me crazy. But think about it. I mean, I would like you all to reflect on it. We've never studied about an organ called the mind. The mind is just an energetic projection of something that we know troubles us. So it's really bringing together all the thoughts which come into the mind. It's a different frequency. It's like we have these minds, the conscious mind, subconscious mind, unconscious mind, superconscious mind. So there are different levels of consciousness is what I would say. And one of them is the mind. Pambi?
Like you were saying, Suju, the mind is the platform for, a thought is the platform for the mind to come in. And then in that, it's almost like a chutney. So if it can either go towards the ego self, or it can still go towards your higher self. So how to just be aware of, even if the thoughts are coming in, but to stay in the positive. But somewhere, of course, there's conflict between the voice of the heart and the voice of the mind. And then to be able to identify, okay, is this the heart that's saying it, or is this the mind that's saying it? So if you could throw some light on, sometimes when the heart is saying something so strong, there's a knowing, that knowing, like I should take this job, and the heart is saying yes, yes, yes. It's such a strong knowing, and there's a comfort in that. But there's always the whisper of the mind that is somewhere behind that's throwing that, and sometimes that clouds the heart, and then it gets mixed up. So in times like that, how does one really identify? Is it the heart saying it? Is it the mind saying it?
Well, I would say the mind is also kind of coming out from the heart. We have to understand that. The mind also wants to come back to rest in the heart, isn't it? Everything is coming from the heart, is what we understand in our spiritual journey. So what the mind also wants to rest and come back into the heart, because the mind is super exhausted. It doesn't really like what it's doing, is what I get. Because like you said, Bambi, they're voices and there's no reality to those voices. Which voice do we want to believe is the dilemma, isn't it? Which voice? Actually, those voices are, you just have to understand that neither of those voices is you. It's just a different conscious part of you which is saying one thing, and a different conscious part of you which is saying the other thing, isn't it? So what do we need to listen to? Firstly, when I say, when we think about it, when we like, go on in our journey and we understand that the heart is what is actually conceived first, and it is from the heart that everything else develops. The heart is a master conductor, as I explained to you in the week 3 of our program. So the heart is what is giving all the signals. So the mind, I also truly believe that if the mind is given a choice, it would love to come and rest in the heart, isn't it? Isn't it? It's like a person who doesn't want to say steal or do something negative, but for some reasons of being in a phase in his life where he cannot do better, he's doing things which are unethical, but his heart still knows that he's doing wrong, isn't it? And there is that voice, as we say, there's one black dog and one white dog. There is that voice in the head which tells you that this is not right. But you're so overpowered, if I may say, by the mind, by the negativity, by the entities. It could be so many things that push you into doing that. The moment you do it, you realize, no, this is not what I needed to do. Isn't it? The moment you do it, you realize that this is not what I needed to do. And then from that space, you understand that, but now it's too late. So when you use such wonderful words, Bambi, saying that this is, when you feel that there is a calling, a part of you feels very drawn to it, and there's a knowing. It's an illogical knowing. 99.9%, it's not a logical knowing. If it's a logical knowing, it'll come from the mind. From the heart, it may seem absolutely illogical to you and to others. That's exactly what Romila Auntie was also asking. But if that knowing part of you, and that's the part we have to strengthen for all of us, that we have to shift from here to here. And actually, this knowing is what is the so-called, in inverted commas, the correct path. This knowing is the area you need to move towards, and that's what you need to trust in your life. And there may be repercussions where people may feel, no, it was not right of you to do this, but I feel, no, that's not true. If I felt in my heart it was not right, and what I'm saying is not targeting anybody specific, is not to make others feel bad. It is something which I feel I have a right to speak. Why should I not do it? That is honoring yourself. That is kind of loving yourself. Isn't it? Yes, Nigtha, go ahead.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, I want to know, it's been so many years, I've been now January, I'll complete 17 years of my marriage. Okay. I just I'm just working on my patterns these days. I'm working on my patterns, and I am reflecting on what are things that have been happening to me, quite repeatedly. One of the things, ma'am, when you're saying, when we are talking about the heart, so I am I am the person who would do things with heart, and and it has always been my endeavor to sort of make people feel comfortable, feel loved. एंड इफ आई फील कि मुझे ये बात इनको बोलनी चाहिए क्योंकि मेरे समझ से ये ठीक है, मतलब दिस इज व्हाट आई फील with all my heart that this is something which is wrong, something that needs to be done. I say it. But in so many years, including my own family members, it's very hard for people to sort of digest the fact that, somebody is saying this, or maybe pinpointing a very small example I'll give you. It's very silly, but like I said, I do everything with my heart. So I have this habit of meeting. I go outside, even if to the market, and I find somebody who's really nice, really sweet. I will go up to them, walk up to them, and compliment. And I have no inhibitions in going to a stranger and just saying that you look beautiful today. You know, that you look really nice today, that your smile is really pretty, that you have really put in a lot of work. Thank you so much. So in our society, it was Valentine's Day, and so I thought that people who work for us, I saw a girl who was from Jharkhand in somebody else's home, and she had been, or even now, she still slogs like a slave from morning 4 till 12 in the night. So I used to really feel bad for her that, she is being used like a slave in a way. So I thought that, on this Valentine's Day, let me do something special for all of the people who are there in my society, especially whom I resonate with. So I went up to her and with this intention that I will give her sweets and all and make her feel special. वैलेंटाइंस डे हो गया, मैं गई, उनके जो ओनर थे वो घर पे नहीं थे, although I did want to meet the owner. With a pure heart I went, and I went up to her. I said, I stay here, I see you every day, you slog. Where are you from? She said, I'm from Jharkhand. I said, you look very young. She said, yeah, I'm 16. I said, you're 16 and you are looking after your entire family, you're sending money every month, and nobody knows your struggle over here, so I got this sweet for you. Please accept this from my side, and I really love you for what you are doing, and it's really admirable. But मेरे खिलाफ सोसाइटी में कंप्लेन कर दी गई कि ये औरत पागल है ये कहाँ से आ गई है, कौन है ये जहर दे के लोगों को मारना चाहती है and all that. A lot of hullabaloo, like nobody likes me in my society. I'm this crazy woman, who would walk up to strangers and say कि आप बहुत अच्छे लग रहे हो, uncle, you look like Jitendra right now. I will go up to everybody and give compliments. I really like I really like doing this because I feel that everybody wants to be appreciated, and अगर किसी के पास कोई अच्छी चीज है जिसको appreciate कर सकते हैं तो करनी चाहिए. But
So
मेरे
stick by
साथ
your principles.
उल्टा होता है मैम.
ये उल्टा नहीं होता, वो तो कहते हैं ना, you are mad in love, you go crazy in love, so it's okay, it's from your heart, you're saying it's not has to be a personal love, yeah, it can be a love for just wanting people to feel good. I'm sure उसको भी अच्छा लगा होगा, but obviously थोड़ा सा constricted thought process है, तो she got a little fearful or whatever.
She was very happy. Her owners were
yeah,
वो
it's
थोड़े
okay,
से
I
डर गए.
understand.
वो जो
Yeah.
ओनर वो जो जिनके घर में
एक
काम
बात बताओ
करते
मुझे, एक बात
जी
बताओ मुझे, आपको ये करके अच्छा लगा कि नहीं? Forget about the
मैम, मुझे
repercussions.
तो बहुत अच्छा लगा करके, पर उसके बाद जो
बस
सोसाइटी
full
में
stop.
हल्ला हुआ
Forget
उसका
about the
मैं क्या
bath.
करूँ. मुझे आज की सुन के जो मेरे माइंड पे जो इतनी सारी जो
Mind
यू
crashed
नो
you. Mind ने बहुत
mind
सारे थप्पड़
crashed
मारे
people
उसको.
crashed with their hearts, their minds. I mean,
If
everybody was
their hearts
buying
are
all
closed, it's
Papa.
not your
But
problem.
what made me go up to her and say, give her sweets? I said, Papa, she has been working, and I really feel for her. In fact, for that matter, the धोबी also, वो बेचारा सारे दिन सुबह से लेके शाम तक काम करते, तो मैंने तो उसको भी मिठाई दी, उसको तो बहुत अच्छा लगा. तो पापा बोले तो पागल है, तो ऐसी चीजें मत किया कर. Don't
But
follow
see,
your heart.
it's only your ego that stops you, that tells you all this, but you enjoyed it. आपको अच्छा लगा करते हुए, full stop. उसके आगे कुछ सोचने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. जो मर्जी लोग सोचे, सबको अंदर से अच्छा लगता है. Let me tell you that. They are not honest enough to share it or speak it. That's a different thing. And the biggest thing in this is when you did it with a pure intent. आपकी किसी को हर्ट करने की इंटेंशन नहीं थी, आपकी किसी को नीचे पुट डाउन करने की इंटेंशन नहीं थी, and it gave you so much of joy doing it. The person for whom you did it appreciated, and she acknowledged, unko acha laga. Forget about the others, it's okay, their hearts are closed, they don't know how to receive love. You understand? I'm not judging them at all.
जी, पर मेरे को ये पूछना है कि जब आप अपने दिल की सुनते हो और फिर आपके साथ जब ऐसा होता है तो आप हाउ डू यू कीप मूविंग ऑन दैट, हाउ डू यू कीप सेइंग टू योरसेल्फ दैट मैं अपने दिल की सुनूंगी, मैं दिमाग की सुनूंगी नहीं, मेरे दिल को ये ठीक लगता है, मैं ये करती रहूं. How can you
हाँ,
be so close with other people? And other people, I mean, by other people, I mean people who are actually close to you. When they
yeah.
restrict you from following your heart,
I
when
would
they
say
make
that
you, when they try and
you
make
would
you believe that this is not something that you should be doing, or how do you do that?
so
How do you do
why do they make you believe? Because it is their belief system, isn't it? But your belief system is different. So why do you have to? I mean, you have to trust yourself. That's all that you need to do. You have to trust yourself. And, of course, maybe at times you need to weigh the pros and cons. There could be
that?
things there, but just listen to your heart. There's nothing wrong because it gives you joy. And that is your priority. It is your innate nature by birth to be happy, to be joyous, to be, playful. I mean, a child will not think at smiling at a धोबी or a जमादार or a anybody. The child को हंसी देख के खुशी हो रही है तो वो smile करेगा ना. वो तो नहीं सोचेगा अच्छा this lady has come to clean my toilet or this person is ironing my clothes and all, because he has no ego. He will smile at everybody and so will the other person reciprocate in that way. So be like that child. The child is not thinking, why do you have to think that इनको अच्छा लगा या उनको नहीं अच्छा लगा? Stop appeasing people, please. Start living your life and make yourself a priority. Yes, if there are repercussions which, have consequences which you may not be able to handle, be a little wise, do things a little, but I would say don't shut down your heart at all. If you're such an open, giving person, by all means do that, because the joy that you are spreading is the joy that so many people would want to. किसी में हिम्मत नहीं है उसको जाके बोलने की, because they're coming from their mind. They're already weighing, what will she think? What will my father think? What will this one think? What will that one think? So in that process, वो जो खुशी share करना चाहते हैं वो कर ही नहीं सकते. But you are brave enough to take that step and go ahead. By all means, continue doing it. Don't hold yourself back at all. Just don't hold yourself back. And it's okay. You don't have to justify. Just say मुझे अच्छा लगा. Let them say you're mad. वो तो बोल ही रहे हैं ना. So it's fine. If they say you're mad, it's okay. I mean, what does it hurt you? You don't have to prove yourself that you're sane or insane. You know. And everybody who comes from the heart, at some point or the other, there are things which, you are told that, yeah, you are mad or you're doing the wrong thing. This is because it doesn't have a logic. But stop trying to find logic, because life is not logical. अगर आप लॉजिक फेयर जस्ट वेज में आप लाइफ लिव करोगे तो बहुत छोटी सी एक इतनी सी विंडो होगी जिसमें कि आप सांस ले सकते हो. 99.9% of life is illogical, isn't it?
मैम आपने अपीजिंग की बात बोली ना, मुझे आपसे एक चीज पूछनी है. तो सी आफ्टर आई गॉट मैरिड, आई टोल्ड यू पहले भी, आई गॉट मैरिड एट 21 and it was like from frying pan to fire for me. And it was मुझे नहीं पता था what I'm getting into. I was very young and there were reasons. I don't want to delve into them. But reason, sorry ma'am.
No, go ahead.
Ma'am, so what I was saying is that मैंने कभी लाइफ ऐसे देखी ही नहीं है कि जहां मुझे लोगों को अपीज ना करना पड़े. चाहे वो मेरे जिंदगी के 6, 6.5, 7 साल थे जब मैं ट्रॉमा में थी एज अ किड. मतलब इट वाज कंटिन्यूअस वर्क फॉर मी, इट वाज एन एफर्ट फॉर मी कि मैं ये नहीं करूंगी तो शायद मम्मी को बुरा लग जाएगा, मैं ये नहीं करूंगी तो शायद पापा को बुरा लग जाएगा, मैं ये नहीं करूंगी तो शायद मेरे अब्यूजर को भी बुरा लग जाएगा तो वो शायद और अब्यूज करेगा. अब इतने सालों बाद मैं अपने आप को कैसे आई ब्रिंग बैक माई सेल्फ, where I just stop making people and start being that, this is not that I am doing that. It's not like I have put my foot down and taken a lot of decisions which are really hard. And, it's not easy for me. Even now, it's not easy for me. But मुझे ना वो हौसला नहीं मिल पाता, to be very honest.
So वो हौसला आपको कोई बाहर से नहीं देगा. Firstly, understand that. और अपीज सबसे पहले अपने आप को करो. 2 things, simple things. Appease yourself, make yourself a priority, as simple as that. अगर उनको नहीं अच्छा लगेगा It is not your problem. If you feel okay with it and you know that this is not targeted to hurt the other person, exactly जो मैं पहले बोल रही थी, and most of us have lived our life like this or are still living in different degrees. It comes to our mind that, okay, if I do this, it may hurt the other person or the other person may not like it. But I feel that this is the right thing to do. Now tell me, एक छोटे बच्चे को वैक्सीनेशन लगाने लेके जा रहे हैं आप, उस बच्चे को वो एक वैक्सीनेशन लगेगा, उसको सुई चुभेगी, मदर को भी उतनी ही दर्द होगी जितनी बच्चे को होगी, उसके बाद 3 दिन उसको बुखार भी होगा, वो पेरेंट्स विल आल्सो बी सफरिंग एंड सो विल द चाइल्ड, बुखार होगा, द चाइल्ड विल बी इन पेन, बाय में दर्द होगी, व्हाटएवर. But what are the long-term results of that vaccination? The child will be protected from maybe a disease which could be very fatal in the long run, isn't it? So वो जो दर्द है उस टाइम का, that is worth doing it. अगर आप सोचो नहीं है मेरे बच्चे को दर्द होगी, मुझे तो वैक्सीनेशन नहीं लगाना, it's illogical, ना? मतलब it's because your heart is saying नहीं नहीं, I can't see him in pain. Oh my God, 3 days, why am I putting this vaccination कि 3 दिन उसको बुखार चढ़े, मतलब am I mad? But no, you have to understand that those painful periods or those times when you go through a kind of a kind of a stressful or a painful thing, thinking that if I do this, it'll make me happy. It might cause a little disruption in the other person's energy. उनको ना अच्छा लगे, but मुझे पता है कि ये ठीक है. जैसे आपने अभी करा, आपको पता था in your heart that it is okay to do this. Now, if your father said something or it had repercussions in the society, you have to put less and less emphasis on that. Just say, I enjoyed it, she enjoyed it, full stop. It's an interaction between you and another person, right? So, and a lot of times we do these things even unconsciously. I just gave you this example of vaccination, may not be so appropriate, but you have to understand that these are things that happen in life, and it is, you take that decision from your, from your heart, because you feel it's going to give her joy, it's going to give me joy. Chalo, let me do it, because you are that kind of a person, and it's different personalities. Some people are born like that from teenagers. It's just about themselves. They're not bothered. अच्छा ठीक है, मम्मी को अच्छा लगेगा, ठीक है, नहीं लगेगा, मेरे को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, मैंने करना है. But that is a rebellious, taking a rebellious decision. You're not taking that decision from the rebellious. The rebellious decision comes from the mind. That's like an adamancy कि मुझे तो ये करना ही है. You are doing it from the point के I like to do it. It is giving me happiness. It is bringing that energy of happiness in the house. Right? एक को नहीं अच्छा लगा, लेकिन एक को अच्छा लगा. So what would you do it? What would be the thing that you do? You go on one path which gives someone happiness. You go on the other path which does not give someone happiness. Which path would you choose? You'll obviously choose the one that gives happiness. Isn't it? So don't doubt it. The problem is जब आप वापस आके उसको एनालाइज करते हो, तो उसको एनालाइज नहीं करो. मैं अपीज करूंगी, ठीक है, आई एम नॉट बीइंग आर्टिफिशियल. सो आप जिसको जाके कॉम्प्लीमेंट दे रहे हो, उसको भी तो आप एक तरीके से अपीज ही कर रहे हो ना. बट इट्स अ जनरल थिंग, जेन्युइन थिंग. इट्स नॉट कि आप सोच के प्लान बना के कुछ वो कर रहे हो, बिकॉज दैट्स नॉट द होल थिंग. यू आर डूइंग इट फ्रॉम द पॉइंट ऑफ spreading happiness, spreading joy, validating, appreciating, knowing that har ek ko acha lagta hai. If we are 24 of us on the group, tell me one person who says I don't like to be complimented or I don't like to be validated. 25 out of 24 hands will be raised here, isn't it? Everybody likes it. So somebody who has the ability to do that, don't put it down. Just don't put yourself down. And trust in that. Forget about उन्होंने क्या बोला, justification भी देना छोड़ दो. जितना हम लाइफ में justifications में जाते हैं to prove ourselves right, we go into kind of clarifications, we go into trying to explain and justify our actions, उतना ही हम उलझ जाते हैं. The minimum spoken, the better conveyed. किसी को आप समझाने से अच्छा आप उसको, उस पर्सन को just go and hold that person's hand, just if you can hug that person, बात खत्म हो जाएगी. राधा कि मैं समझाई जाऊं, I'm putting in, it's like a verbal diarrhea that I'm going through, और वो दूसरे बंदे को समझ ही नहीं आ रहा. जैसे अच्छा ठीक है, I liked it, I didn't think it would hurt you, sorry, बस बात खत्म, आगे बढ़ो, finish it off. क्यों उसके अंदर जाना कि मेरी गलती थी, तेरी गलती थी, ये हुआ? Just stop it. Just try to do these things which give you joy. Go hug that person, say, okay, okay, I did it with a good intention. Bas, baat khatam, chalo, move on. Crack a joke, change the whole energy. Don't go deep into it. It is only going to make you suffer.
Sujata,
only going to. Yes, Arjun.
that's one thing, like,
it's maybe a trivial example, but something that I see day to day. So something like if it's deciding where to go for a holiday or where to go out to eat or something like that, I always have an opinion. But I have found I know what I want, but then I have found that for me it's easier to give in because the piece of giving in is bigger than the what would happen if I got my way, but with a fight. So I don't know if that's like a rationalization or it's also
No,
so
I totally get what you're saying. Let's understand when you say that for you to kind of give in, because that giving in gives you more joy than going to a place where you want to eat. You understand?
Yeah.
Right? That's not appeasing. That giving in for you, that giving in to saying, okay, let's go where you like to go, gives you more pleasure, gives you more happiness because that's your personality.
But
Nothing wrong in that.
But then people tell me ki you're very weak, you don't voice your opinions. But I feel if something is not important to me, why should I make an issue of it? So
Absolutely. And please, let's understand, if you take the left course, people will tell you. If you take the right course, people will tell you, stop listening to people. Listen to your heart. Just listen to your heart. Just stop listening to people. People will tell you. Invariably, they will tell you. But you know, you are in the situation. Today, if I tell you, okay, go and do this, how can I tell you? You are living in that house. You are facing the people day in, day out. Who am I to tell you what to do and what not to do? Isn't it? So people are saying from their point of view, if you feel that, yeah, you give in and you enjoy giving in because it creates a better space and you don't feel suffocated by not speaking up, it's absolutely fine. That's really honoring yourself. I would say that is self-preservation. You go somewhere just because you want to go there, you're voicing yourself, the other person is grumbling, you've gone there, the food is not good, because the whole energy will become like that, isn't it? When you go to the other person's the place of choice, you go with a happy, clear heart. But the other person may not do that, and that's worse than going anywhere. You rather stay put at home.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. So see what gives you more happiness. That's exactly what I'm telling Snigdha also. See what gives you more happiness. If you feel that I'm doing this, it gives me happiness, forget it. Kisi ne bol diya, kisi ne complain kar diya. Let them deal with it. I'm not a part of it. If I'm asked, I will step up and say, yeah, I did it with a good intention. ठीक है, नहीं करूँगी आगे से, because you people may not be able to understand it. Full stop. Don't go into much explanations. Don't regret what you have done because you have not done it from a bad space. Yeah. Yes, Nigtha. Quickly, we have to do the meditation and then I have my class. Yeah.
मैम मेडिटेशन कर लेते हैं, मैं बहुत बोलती हूँ
बोलो, कोई बात नहीं, मेडिटेशन तो मैं कराऊंगी।
मैं पूछ रही थी जैसे जब जैसे अभी गेमिंग इन की बात हुई तो जैसे मेरा अपना नेचर ऐसा रहा कि मैंने जिन भी हालातों में मैंने आई गॉट मैरिड एंड आई ऑलवेज थॉट दैट आई शुड गिव मोर लव बिकॉज आई मेरा नेचर है ऐसा, मेरा नेचर है कि I like doing things for the people whom I love. I would go to any lengths for making people whom I love feel special. But I have reached a point where I am just giving and not getting anything. I feel empty.
So why do you feel that somebody will give you?
Doesn't appreciate the
Sorry,
fact that
I'm sorry. No. You can't go ahead than this. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you, not with any wrong intention. I don't want you to be into that victim mode. Nobody can fill you, and you're not giving from the intention of receiving. I give this example in one of my old talks. I don't know if you heard. One 50-year-old lady came to me. Her, 32-year-old son was getting married, and she was paranoid. She said, "I gave up my career for this child. He wants to get married and move out of the house. I gave up my career. I was such a good, I don't know, IAS officer or something. I gave that up because I just wanted to give my entire 30 years of my life. I wanted to give the entire time to this child. So, and now he's going away." And she was paranoid. She was in so much of distress. And I told her that, did you bring up that child for 30 years only from the point that he's going to give you back after 30 years? Today he's 30. He wants to, move out of the house. He wants to live his own life. And you are feeling threatened. And that's not the thing. Okay, you may feel a void. I totally agree. But to say this कि मैंने अपना लाइफ का करियर दे दिया, मैंने सारा कुछ इस बच्चे के लिए कर दिया, तो बच्चे ने तो नहीं बोला था सबसे पहले कि आप मुझे पैदा करो. बच्चे ने तो नहीं बोला था कि आप अपना करियर मेरे लिए छोड़ो. You took that choice, isn't it? You to take the choice to please people or to give an offer because it gives you satisfaction. Forget about the other person, forget about the reciprocation. And nobody, आपने बोला कि मुझे कुछ मिलता नहीं है तो मेरे को खाली लगता है, कोई भी आपको भर नहीं सकता. Give yourself that love. Forget about the other things. The day you start loving yourself, everybody will turn around and love and respect you. That's why I was telling you that, I really want you to learn Reiki, because so many sitting here have come from this space that you are saying, but you understand that nothing outside can fulfill you. And these sounds like very big words, but it's actually our own entire spiritual journey. But from where to start to understand these things is coming into a modality like Reiki. I just don't talk about Reiki. Since I teach Reiki, I can say it because I know that when you start doing those things for yourself, you start respecting yourself, you start seeing the positivity, the fulfillment that you receive when you do your own full body Reiki. You don't need anything else. You don't need anybody else. That's kind of the first step. And then, of course, go ahead and, you see how much you receive in your life. So stop focusing outside, just turn inwards. कोई बाहर का बंदा आपको fulfill नहीं कर सकता. कोई बाहर का जना जिसको आप कुछ भी दे रहे हो और आपको वापस नहीं दे रहा, उसके देने से भी you will not be fulfilled.
पर
You'll
आपका अच्छा
understand.
करने के बाद भी, आपके करने के बाद भी अगर वो आपका मिसयूज करता रहे, शोषण करता रहे, so then you should be okay.
ये किसकी जर्नी है जो वो कर रहा है? किसके कर्म है जो कर रहा है? उसकी अपनी जर्नी है ना. तो आपको क्या लेना देना? आप ये सोच के बल्कि उसके अंदर और घुस रहे हो, उस नेगेटिविटी में, उसके बुरे
It is
कर्मों में. और
absolutely fine if I stop giving when I feel threatened.
totally
It's absolutely fine.
I would not say that. I would not say that. Give
No,
to the
on my
level
own
because you are
personal
the
level,
person.
मतलब मुझे लगता है कि अब मुझे नहीं देना चाहिए. और पर मुझे जैसे the way I'm being guided by my parents or by my laws, it's like, I have this moral duty of being there forever and keep giving
Don't
forever.
be answerable. Yeah, don't be answerable to anybody but yourself first. वो पेरेंट्स के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से ठीक बोल रहे हैं, वो इन-लॉज के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से ठीक बोल रहे हैं, लेकिन उसके ऊपर जब किसी को फांसी पे चढ़ना है तो पेरेंट्स और वो नहीं चढ़ेंगे, आप चढ़ोगे. यू अंडरस्टैंड? सो कम बैक टू योरसेल्फ. जब मार पड़ेगी उनको या उनको नहीं पड़ेगी, आपको पड़ेगी. जब उसके नेगेटिव कर्मास होंगे वो उनको नहीं पड़ेंगे, आपके ऊपर लाइफ में आएंगे. Isn't it? So first listen to yourself, then see the other things. I'm not saying they're doing wrong or they're saying wrong, but they're saying from their fears. वो अपनी personality, अपनी life उससे बोल रहे हैं, not from yours. You understand? Just keep sharing, coming, and you will slowly get it. Don't worry. Yes, Bambi, quickly, then I'll go into the meditation.
I just, what Snigdha was also saying, just wanted to share. Like, she's saying that she's always giving. So just from my own experience and also having guided by you and Rohini, the one most beautiful thing that you instilled in my heart, Suju, is that we're constantly giving. It also comes from our sense of belonging. And first to remind ourselves that we belong to ourselves, to exactly what you're saying. And once it settles in your heart, it's the most beautiful thing. So I just wanted to share that with Snigdha, that, belonging to ourselves first is, it's like being in a garden full of flowers. So
exactly.
I just wanted
it's
to
okay. Thank you for sharing.
I'm starting.
Just keep coming to this. Just keep coming to this beautiful garden, Snigdha. You'll see very soon. You'll be in love with all of us. And in love with yourself.
With all the I keep trying कि मैं जब आप लोग के साथ आ सकूं, आ जाऊं. Thank you so much.
Wonderful, and we love you the way you are, just the way you are.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, settle down quickly. Let's just come into a nice meditative space. Make yourselves comfortable. Take a nice deep breath. Fully arrive here, as we say. Keep your focus on the in-breath and the out-breath. Very gently with awareness, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in, being aware of every in-breath, bringing in fresh energy, fresh prana. And thanking the outgoing breath as it releases all the toxins, mental, emotional, physical, from your body. And then as you breathe, I want you to take your focus to the center of your chest, to your heart center. Breathe into your heart center. At the center of your chest, that little heart, that energetic heart chakra, the anahata, not the physical heart, but the heart chakra. The moment the breath touches it, it begins to open up. And then bring into your vision a thought of something really beautiful, somebody you love, a beautiful sunset, a beautiful vision of a beach, of a mountain, just you receiving an award, acknowledging, looking at your child, anything that makes you feel good, bring that vision into your mind's eye. And then just notice the subtle opening up of your heart. And feel this joy spreading to every part of your body. This is a signal of the heart opening up. Those of you who are aware, you might feel a little tingling, a little sensation in every cell of your body. And then take a moment to think of something that you're frustrated about. Something that you're really trying to create for yourself. All those expectations that you have from people around you. Just bring in that energy of frustration. And immediately feel the shrinking of the heart. Immediately feel the shrinking of your cells. Immediately feel that little constriction in your body's energy. This is coming from the mind. And now from this space, bring into your mind's eye that if all this frustration, all this had to be cleared away, all that had to go away, all your expectations, all your need to control, if you could just release this, what would your life look like? If you could just be present in your full awareness, full glory when you come out, what would it look like? If all your health problems can be washed away, if your entire self-image is exactly what you would like it to be, if your sense of self and self-esteem is such that never will you ever have to judge yourself again, and there is nothing but complete love and affection, what would it look like? If you lived in a world that nobody had the power to upset you, to disappoint you, what would it look like? Just going to encourage you to be with these thoughts. Bring your sensory awareness into this situation. In other words, if you hear some words being spoken, you feel that energy running through you, just let your imagination run. And then I wish to remind you that you are not alone. There are all these hosts of angelic beings, our friends in higher spaces who are waiting to support you, to fulfill you in exactly what you wish to receive and create. There are your guides, your masters, your angels and teachers, all your friends in the spiritual realm, the gods and deities you pray to. Just go ahead and acknowledge their presence. They are higher level beings of consciousness. They are our friends. They will not interfere, but when you invite them, when you ask for support and assistance, they are always present and they generously help. So now you can safely relinquish the need to control. And now from this realm, from above your head, just imagine that there is this blessing of grace, this vortex of energy coming down from your angels, your masters up above, entering your energy system. And it's not in the body, it's around the body in your entire energy field. Feel that energy pouring down. And as you breathe, just get focused at your heart center, at the base of your sternum in your chest. There is a little point. Just take your attention to this little energetic point, because this is the area between the heart and the solar plexus where there is an energetic space through which this energy must pass in order to reach the mind. And I want you to continue to take these slow, deep breaths, just slowing down. And with every breath, I'm bringing in that vortex, that energy, and I release it with the out breath. Slowing down my breath, keeping that point in mind, that little opening in my sternum at the center of my chest, which allows that energy to come through from the non-physical realm, through the heart center, into the realm of the mind and the emotions and the entire body. So just keep taking slow, deep breaths, energy coming in and energy going out. Energy coming in from the earth center, moving up to the heart, moving upwards, and energy coming down from the heaven, creating a beautiful toroidal field all around you, embracing this earth energy, moving past this little point. Just take that deep breath in, and as the breath turns, it is that fraction of a moment of stillness which allows that vision to come into your reality. And as we exhale, at the bottom of the breath is that gap where all possibilities are present. And we choose the one that we have selected. So just gently breathe in. Everything that we have desired is available to us in this breath. Everything that we have desired is available to us in this breath. And I prepare my energy field to receive this, to come into resonance with this level that I'm aspiring for. And then I ask my high self, my guides, my angels, all my friends in the spiritual realm to clear anything and everything that stands between me and that which I have asked for. I ask for all our thoughts, beliefs, perceptions, and judgments, all need to control from the mind to be totally cleared and removed, so that I can be present, pure and innocent as a child, to receive the greater guidance that comes through, coming in with each breath. And in this, I include my body, I include my mind, I include everything that is accessible to me to be a part of this realization, and nothing is excluded. And then from the highest level, from the divine level of I am that I am, I give myself permission, I give myself authority, I give myself entitlement to realize that I have desired purely and sincerely. And then I draw it into my life with the highest blessings, breath by breath by breath. I give myself permission to draw this intent of mine into my life, breath by breath by breath. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Gently with awareness, wriggle your toes, move your fingers. Wiggle your fingers, move your toes, bring your awareness back into your body, into your space, and slowly open your eyes. Thank you, thank you, thank you.